Hello and welcome to Agile Ventures. This is Thomas together with Sampriti and Christian, and today's meeting is about our Codelia.org project, and potentially, if we find the strength, time, and enthusiasm to reboot this project. I invited some members of the community to this meeting, and thank you, Christian and Sampriti, for showing up. Let me share my screen and just have a discussion about what this project is about and whether we can in any way start all over again or move this forward. Sampriti, you've been involved in this project before. And
yes, I had been involved. I mean, I was involved, but for the first month or so, and after that, I didn't really have much time to devote. So I just I mean, I had to drop out.
I understand. Well, basically, this is what happens in open source projects like this. I spoke briefly to Pete over Slack, and he used to be project lead on this project, and he told me that he is
Yes.
yeah, he started a full-time job right now, so he want to take a back seat on this one right now.
Yeah. Another problem for me was like AngularJS started to come up. A major focus at that point was AngularJS, and I didn't really know AngularJS, so I didn't really have the time and to learn AngularJS, and obviously that would take a lot of time. So another reason why I had to drop out.
Okay, all right. That's okay, interesting, because but I was thinking about that in other contexts of Agile Ventures, whether introducing new technologies could slow down the development process. I mean, we are Rails oriented, most of them, most of us, right? And for instance, AngularJS is there is a learning curve before we can start implementing stuff. On one hand, learning stuff on a in a project is a good thing, because you're learning by doing, basically, and you do something that is going into production or something real, instead of just following tutorials and doing some exercises. But on the other hand, it can discourage people, if it doesn't fit the schedule, or the interest. I don't know if you're interested in AngularJS, for instance, or if you didn't feel that at that particular moment in your schedule or in your life, you didn't want to pick up a new technology.
Yeah, it is not that AngularJS isn't interesting. The thing is, it would take a lot of time for me personally to go through the technology as a whole to start contributing. So, which is why I didn't take up interest in that. For example, if today, let's just say, if website one were to take up, let's say, Ember or Angular again as one of its major parts, then I would have to drop out as well, probably, because I wouldn't have the time or energy to learn another framework. When, to be honest, at the moment, I don't find much use in for AngularJS and Ember in my life at the moment.
Okay, it's understandable, yeah. And but I kind of you remember I had to take off for a few months during the summer,
Yeah, yeah.
and did this AngularJS focus refresh my memory here now, because I don't quite remember the sequence
Yes,
of things.
yes. I'll tell you what happened. So basically, you remember before you were going, we were developing a kind of an IDE, a kind of
Yeah.
so what happened was that the things got very complex, and then Brian, and I guess mostly Brian, was talking about moving that over to AngularJS, because AngularJS is for a JavaScript heavy client apps, and
Mm-hmm.
using AngularJS would be very easy. Using AngularJS, it would be very easy to create the IDE and add new features to it, and
Mm-hmm.
that was partly true, I guess, because I mean allowed us to add lots of new features to the IDE. Problem was like not very like many people knew AngularJS at that moment. So I guess Brian was the only one who knew AngularJS, and then after that I guess John, Pete, and maybe Marcelo, I'm not sure though, they started learning AngularJS, and those four people were the major contributors. I
Okay.
don't know if Viv was a contributor as well to the AngularJS part, but after AngularJS came in, okay, that's interesting.
Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, I need to take a look at that. I'm the admin of
Yeah,
this. So I haven't seen this for a while. So okay.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
go
was
ahead,
one.
please.
Yeah, so that was what happened. Like after AngularJS came in, I mean, there was not much Rails stuff involved. It was mostly AngularJS,
Okay.
very little Rails. So some developers dropped out, I guess, after that.
Mm.
If you go to the contributors list and you see the top four contributors, those were the ones who were actively contributing at that time.
Okay.
We've contributed I mean, yeah, you weren't there, so
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I see. I see.
yeah, I
Okay.
think it was David, not Marcelo.
Mm.
And Viv also only contributed a small part, which was like the blog, not
Mhm.
AngularJS. So
Mm.
that's it. Also, the other thing was the Indiegogo campaign failed. I mean, it didn't really go as planned.
No, no, no. It
That
didn't. No, I know. I know. Uh,
So that was another reason. And the other major reason for us losing focus was that I guess Muhammad and Ryu's the parent company like lost focus in in their product and thus our product as well. Like so they didn't have like they couldn't focus on our their what do you say? I don't even remember what their company was. I guess I think it was Hatch After School or something like that. So after like that was shut down, like there was no more push, and then I think Lucinda also didn't have many meetings with Lucinda as well. So that was why the Cordelia project like stopped. And then Pete also left, and so there was no project lead, and that was what happened.
but do you recall if any meetings were called and like did Pete? Um,
Yes, I do remember like there was one meeting with Lucinda that was called for like kind of like a reboot, but I don't think that ever happened. Yeah, that didn't happen actually for some reason. So there was no reboot, and after that Pete left, and then Brian got his job as well, and there was nobody else, and John got his job as well. So there was nobody to focus on Cordelia anymore.
I have some background noise right now, so that's why I'm muting myself. But
Yeah, yeah,
thank
I
you very much
understand.
for your description. Give me a moment before I
Sure.
go. I just
Yeah,
gonna.
no problem.
Uh, in the meantime, Christian, how much do you know about this project?
Well, I've brought it down. I've got it running on my machine. I haven't actually got around to looking at the code yet. I was just looking to see what was on the website. Um, I was also wondering. I mean, the idea behind the project is, an education thing. I mean, is it to provide an online service, or is it to provide the framework and the documentation and the method to be able to set up a weekend course or a 6-day course or something like that? Um, I'll be. Do you know anything about that, Sanpreti?
Somebody is muted right now. But
Oh,
to answer your question, a little bit of both. What we were trying to do is to bear with the background noise if it's okay.
yeah, no, it's fine.
All right, all right. What we try to do is we're trying to create a set of teaching materials, like a path for an instructor to take together with his clients.
Hmm.
Because we want to mix instructor-led training with technology-backed interactive education materials, because we don't we believe that okay, you can give your students some sort of written materials and ask them to perform certain programming exercises, but we would like them to those exercises to be more interactive, so they can get instant feedback, or also see to see the results of their effort. But we do believe that online courses only is not the way to go. We want to create an atmosphere where learning to code is fun. There's a group, a kind of and then where a group of people get together and have fun together. We want to explore the pair programming aspect of this, and introduce kids to that at an early stage. So that's why we, among other things, these are the reasons why we feel that instructor-led training is the way to go. But
yes,
we have
I thought, Thomas, I thought, sorry to interrupt, but I thought I read something about that when I first looked at it, probably about 6 months ago, 6 or 7, and that looked really good. And you've got a lot of content there.
We have this Cordelia.org project presentation, thing, where we have a lot of text, kind of, and also there's some sort of an overview. Let's see here. I mean, I know that. I mean, we have a lot of resources now. I mean, we have the general idea. We, non-trivial. We have this, graphic interface. This girl this character that we want to use as a marketing toy, kind of, and there is a lot of stuff that is. We have this website. Okay, the domain is down, but I can fix that in a day or two. And there's a lot of stuff that is already happening. And also, I have this here in Sweden, here in Gothenburg. If I can move this project ahead, I can start organizing, weekend courses for kids within a month or 2 months. As soon as we have something, some materials.
Yeah. And what would they need to get started with? I mean, maybe the the IDE environment online, maybe that's too sophisticated. Maybe they just need to learn HTML and JavaScript and CSS to start with.
And I basically what I would need in order to if I were to set up a class here in Gothenburg, with me as an instructor, for instance, I would need a set of exercises, that are documented online, where I can point my students toward.
Yeah.
And okay, I would need some funding, of course, because I need to, I don't know, if I would purchase like 5 or 6 Chromebooks, for instance, right? And I can take care of that, because I have people that are interested in backing this up. But in order to buy like 4 or 5 Chromebooks, I would need like I don't know, 1,500 or pounds or 1,500 euros or something, and then in order for them to be unified, to have a development environment. So I should I point them to a website where there is an online IDE, or should I install something on the machines? You know what I mean? I would need.
I see what you mean. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So everything is nice and dandy when these kids are sitting in front of that computer. And if I have five Chromebooks, I know that I can have 10 students, because I would like them to pair program. And I need a kind of a curriculum that on the first meetup we do this and that, or second meetup we do something else, and third meetup we do yet another thing. And we had this outline. For these kind of let's see here, for different how did we call it? I don't recall. We called it passion or foundation. These paths that we wanna take Cordelia content. Because this content save providers. No, that wasn't it. Curriculum overview, perhaps. Yeah, this is the like a overview of what Cordelia should be about. We have 3 meetups with passions, and we have those goals, defined.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a work in progress document, of course, but
Yeah.
this is what we kind of discussed, basically. So yeah, we had passions, foundations, and concepts and projects,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of take these, and that would equal to 4, 8, 12, 15 meetups. Okay.
Yeah. But we're targeting what, ages 9 to 14 there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they might not even get to coding stage. They'd really just be doing HTML and maybe markup.
Yeah, and that's what we kind of thought, that the idea was to, I don't know if this is published on any where is that? Here is Cordelia Workshop 1. What did the first site? How about Workshop 2? I think hold on a second. Yeah, we had this. Let's see here if this is still working. Thomas, start with getting Thomas. Oh, come on. Yeah. Okay. So this is like an interface I created for a Passions workshop. First the first step is for them. If they have a Instagram account, to establish their user ID, because we need this ID number.
Yeah.
But then we go like to part 2, and here. Let's show some hello social.
But even with this, I can see what is really being targeted is people who already have a degree of technical expertise.
Yeah, but you see,
and want a leg up.
Yeah, but the thing is that, I mean, this can of course be discussed, because what we see here, that you see the code for certain elements here, down below, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I just delete this, and I type, and see the results. You see?
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, okay. I didn't realise that was an edit box there at the bottom.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Headline 1, so, and there's something wrong with the HTML here, so if I just fix that, so yeah, well, and also here are some instructions for them, what we want them to do, basically,
Mm-hmm.
And together with an instructor, we can make them do those things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so if I type Cordelia here, I think, and search for it, yeah, so here the pictures from Cordelia are showing up, right? So if I go and paste my, I think if I paste my number here, no, okay, so that wasn't it. Okay, I have to go into the code and change that. I got it. Never mind. But if I paste like Thomas Hoffman here, I access my own. Oh, really? Oh, really? Isn't that strange? Huh. That's weird. Oh, anyway, I don't really recall everything, but if you now go like Batman, then you see everything that has to do with Batman, And we were kind of worried about this, because some of them, could be a little explicit. You see here that, I mean, this is not so bad, but sometimes we can see really bad, output. So one has to be a little careful. But anyway, I kind of built this up. This one is the second. You see this picture here, the second one here in the results.
Yeah, the one you.
Yeah, it's used in the background here as well. So, so the idea is, that they could download this code to this either I see here that Brian created this online interface in browser. That's kind of cool. Or they can download everything, and by doing some sort of modifications, like we ask them to here in these instructions, they can instantly see the changes. And the thing here is that we want them to see that those big services like Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and stuff like that, they are accessible to them not only as users of those services but also as programmers, by using the API.
Yeah.
So you don't. What I want to teach those kids at this point, that you don't have to be only a consumer of those services. You can also be you can use them in your own work, in your own creative way.
Yeah, creator.
Yeah. You can be creator of content, or you can add value to already published content. You know what I mean? So you can take those pictures and you can do something fun with them. And another step that I was hoping, in the third workshop, I wanted to do a mosaic kind of thing. You can grab pictures from different services, and you can put them together in a make a big thing out of them. Like a picture in itself, containing a lot of different other images and stuff like that. So it could be quite fun, But
yeah. No,
because the contrast to this is, to ask them, I can teach you what the P tag is, what the H1 tag is, the basic structure of a HTML5 page, but it doesn't strike me as fun. It's technical, and I don't want to get too technical at the beginning. I want to show them that fairly fast you can get cool and nice results, And first, after but because I think that what strikes the interest to kind of, this is cool. How is it done? And when you start thinking in those terms, then you are ready to dive in, behind the what you see on the screen, and that is more technical. But by that time you're kind of interested in technical aspects, and then because you only learn when you're actually interested in something.
Yeah. So the first course, the one you're showing me there, that's completed, presumably.
Yes, well, kind of. I see that this online in-browser interface only allows for modification of the headline and and the sub headline, kind of. You can't change more. I was hoping that we could remove this. The student could remove the instructions and stuff. But yes, this is basically done. Yeah.
So I'm in workshop 1 on my machine. You're in workshop 2, aren't you? So workshop 1 and 2 have been completed.
I don't know what workshop 1 is really. I wasn't part of that. Let's see here. Use the link to the workshop. Okay. So there's a There's a interface for you to. Okay, this is cool. This is basically the same thing, but with a little less.
You can change anything there, can't you?
Almost. Yes, I can. Everything that is here in the interface. So if I can change this. All right. Are you seeing this?
Yeah.
So everything could be buff. Okay. My text. Okay. Cool. All right. So okay. So we have the first one and the second one done. Yeah. So basically, what we would need to think about is I mean, if we would want to, you know, that there's a lot of work to be done here, of course. But one could, you know, one would need to prioritize, and I don't think that an online IDE is the way to go right now. I think that's a little bit of an overkill. I think this solution here with a small window, I wish we could make it a little bigger, but never mind.
Well, there's sort of many things really. I suppose two areas I see is one needs a course outline, and maybe a set of courses to take one through, and then as soon as one defines that, one's also defining sort of entry levels and how much they can do to start with, and assumptions. And then you've got the technology side to help support it, and then also actually putting the pictures and the pages together. So the three aspects of that. And yeah, one needs only the technology, enough technology to support courses. But presumably, as soon as you finish with markup, you're going to go on to a programming language, and that is going to be Ruby. So yeah, I could see where thoughts were going. But maybe there's enough here already one could make into a package. So, you know, what was the original Cordelia thought?
Yeah.
It might not do everything. You know, it might not teach Ruby as well. But.
Well, I mean, my first goal would be if we could deliver this, you know, the passions curriculum, kind of, you know, and so that would mean that we would need another workshop, you know, because, you know, the goal here is introduction to what's possible with web development, experiment with HTML, image editing. That could be the content of the third workshop, perhaps. Using content from public APIs, we have that already. Introduction to pair programming and collaborative development, that's done in class.
Well, that's quite a lot in itself, isn't it?
Yeah.
When you think about it.
Yeah, but I mean, if I have one meetup for 1 hour, you know, I can talk to them about those things, you know, introducing pair programming. I mean, that's done over the 3 meetups, you know. But the third workshop, I would like to have something with image editing. That would be cool. Brings recognition with attributes.
But I do think that it's quite a young age group. You know, I think that level, the best student for that curriculum would be 11 to 16 or 18, 17 or something like that.
Well, Sampriti, how old were you when you started some heavy programming? Are you still with us, Sampriti? Well, he was like...
Yes, I'm sure. I know he's very young. I'm not trying to exclude people, but...
No, but I know what you mean.
But I'm also thinking it's pitched as introduction to girls. And maybe they... Sorry, Sampriti?
Yeah, please go on.
Okay. You know, so maybe they haven't had the experience. They've been pushed out of it in the past.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think, you know, one of the... I got you totally. And one of the assumptions we are making here is that there is this... I mean, girls do consume a lot of technology, as much as technology as boys. You know, they are... You know, they are smartphone users, they're computer users, they use a lot of services, you know, and actually this is why we picked Instagram, because we know that most Instagram is used by girls mostly. I think 75% of Scandinavian girls have a, 70% of users here in Scandinavia are female of Instagram. So that's why
Right.
we picked this service. The thing is that they are consuming technology, but they are not interested in technology because technology seems too stiff and too manly, too boring for them basically, and that's the reason why we want to make this happen, because we might want to show them that technology doesn't have to be boring, and that's also the reason why we want to introduce pair programming, because we want to show them that being a programmer and software developer doesn't necessarily have to be a lonely solo gig. You can do
Yeah.
this in
Yeah.
group.
Mm.
So, and I kind of think, and this is hypothesis only, of course, that 9 years, 10 years could be a good time to kind of start looking at those things. So that's why I'm trying not to make this too advanced
But
but interesting. But then again, I could be completely wrong because we haven't run those courses yet. So.
No,
I think
no, I
I
actually
think
agree with your thoughts there. And what I was thinking was also that that's good in itself. Just introducing that sort of social aspect, and they could run their own development meetings and scrums and whatnot like this
Mm,
amongst themselves, and they would realise it's social as well.
mm,
And
I
yeah,
think like nine would be a very young age. I mean, I like started HTML when I was, I think, about like near 11. I think I started HTML when I was 10, and
mm,
then I moved on to JavaScript when I was 11, and then I started Rails when I was 12. So
mm,
I mean, I'm not sure if like 9 would be like the correct age, or even 10 probably.
mm,
I like
okay.
I'm 10 might be the correct age, but I'm not really sure about 9,
mm,
because 9 would be too young, I guess.
mm. I gotcha. And so we can revise that, of course, and also I'm thinking that if we have a you know if we have a age span of, for instance, 9 or 10 to 14 or 15, what have you, then and we're thinking about pair programming, for instance, I think we can try to mix those. If we have one girl that is kind of a little more computer savvy than the other one, we can put them together. You know what I mean? And so we have this you know uh, the situation where they can teach each other a little bit. So mixing ages and mixing competence levels would be something that the instructor is uh, that's his role, his job, and I think that could also help us to overcome some initial uh, obstacles in terms of what am I doing here.
Mm.
We have some previous experience to fall back on. Mohammed and Drew from the Hatch Academy from Houston, Texas. They had 8 and 9 years old doing some simple HTML exercises, and they
Mhm.
reported that was it wasn't very easy, but it wasn't you know in any way impossible for them
Mhm.
to make this work basically.
Yeah. Well, okay.
So,
Yes.
but it is a challenge, I think. Um,
Yeah, I think my take on it would be 9, 10-year-olds introduce pair programming and problem solving together
mm,
as a concept,
mm,
and let them play with that. And it can be with games and problem solving. It needn't even be technical. And then a little bit older, introduce this HTML, and then
mm.
you solve them. But
Hold on, so,
yeah,
I understand you have to go, Sampriti.
Yeah.
Yeah, so thanks very much for showing up on this meeting, and whenever you feel that you have the time, feel free, as I said about website one as well, feel free to just contact me, and if there's anything you feel that you can do for Cordelia in the future, if we decide to reboot this, you're more than welcome to help us out. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of learning like the three major JavaScript frameworks: Backbone, Angular, and Ember from Code School next month. So I mean, after my midterms are over, so hopefully I can like get back
Mm,
and
absolutely.
contribute. Because I mean, I don't think like Angular will be if Cordelia starts to be rebooted, Angular won't probably be dropped because
Mm,
so that will continue. So I'll
yeah.
probably learn those and then I can help in this project probably. So
Mm.
obviously that won't be now, but that will. But when I come back, I'll surely contact you.
Great. You know how what they say, Rome wasn't built in one day, so this is
Yeah,
an ongoing effort. So, but anyway, jump over and help those guys in Austria. They need you. All
yeah.
right. Take care, brother.
Good to see you again, Sampriti. Bye.
Bye.
Ciao. Uh, yeah, back to the track. Here I just pulled up a document. I remember we created one of those. This is like an instruction for the instructor, basically.
Hmm.
Uh, this is a 90-minute meeting for about the workshop 2, and we have a goal specified here that we want to showcase the concept of software talking to other software by making API calls. Uh, you know, um, so and this is a concept that we need to explain to them in a funny way. So there's going to be some whiteboard drawing, and you as a user, you type in this and that. You can follow people, you can
Yeah.
do stuff, but also these services can be also accessed by another computer, and blah blah blah. So I can talk to the kids about this concept of software being used not only by humans.
Hmm.
You can make some funny references to Terminator, or well, I can make it kind of funny, but not too geeky, I guess. So and then you have an introduction of 25 minutes, and everything you saw on that on the workshop 2 that I did, I do in front of the kids with on the big screen. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I show them everything, how to access the code, and I talk them through certain tags and stuff, not without being too technical, you
Yeah.
know and then they do the coding for 25 minutes, and then we have a show and tell moment where because when they code, perhaps they pull up some fun pictures, they come up with a nice heading, or some background or whatever. And what we want them to do, we want them to show off, because being creative with code also involves being getting some feedback on what you've done. You know what I mean? When you
Hmm.
paint a painting or write an article or write a book, you want people to read it, right? And it's the same thing here, that if you if you've done something fun that you're proud of in with code, you want people to see that. So we want to give them the opportunity to show off their results,
Hmm.
the result of their efforts. And also we want them to be able to take something away from the course. So can we create a way for them to push this up, the results of the exercise up to a server or something, so when they come home, they can just say, hey, mom and dad, log into this URL, and this is what I've done today, you know
Yeah.
or to show their friends in school, or what have you. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And this
Well.
kind of wraps it up for me at least, a full feature package of doing stuff that you haven't done before, going a little bit outside of your box, but also being creative, not only just being techie about things, but also create stuff that you can do, and go through all the phases of this process that we do, like grown-ups, when we work. But for us, it's a passion, it's a hobby, or it's a job, and we do that over a long period of time. Here they go over those phases, in 90 minutes, or what have you. So
Yeah.
you know
But they're going to need a bit of competence level, to be able to do that in half an hour.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's why we want to mix those ages, and also levels of competence, because we want this show and tell, for instance. It's up to the instructor to pick a girl or a pair that are confident, uh, or you know, that actually fits, that are, you know, not only that they can show off their own work, but they can show other girls that it's not that intimidating to do a show and tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not everybody will do that on every meetup, but at least one or two pairs, perhaps. You know, it depends, of course, on how many participants you have in a course like this.
Thomas, where is that document you're looking at the moment? Can I see that?
All of that is here. Let me just paste the link into
I'm
the
trying
chat.
to find the.
This is the. Try to follow this link now that you see on screen. I don't know if I have to.
All right.
Okay, so you can access that.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. And you can probably open it in a drive in your own. If you're, yeah, are you logged in?
Yeah. Yeah. You can probably see I'm looking at the document. So what to do next? See, I'm wondering whether I could find somebody who might be interested in a course like this, or you know, having a focus would help drive it one way or another, won't it?
Absolutely, and you know, and there's several things that needs to be done. I mean, if we just jump over to the tracker, we have this Cordelia Lulu pivotal tracker, and I think there is this. You know, there are a lot of stories. We can't do this in one meeting, but there was this thing about in browser ID basis, first workshop draft, real-time rendering, content, combine version. There was something about blog, create a blog, yeah. And it's a delivered.
I saw a link to a blog somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Where did I see that?
Let me see that.
Yeah, at the bottom. Blog.
Blog. Here we are, blog.
Oh, it's empty. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's empty on my machine.
Password shouldn't be stored in open source repos. Well, I don't know. So, yeah, we should revisit this story like big time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And there's some commenting. Okay, but this is, you know. Oh, okay. So there's some sort of authentication, but you know, we would need to revisit this, and also, I mean, we don't want this sort of.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So this story should be revisited, and there's a lot of other things probably that needs to be redone in this. But a blog would be nice, and also, you know, what I would like us to do is to. I mean, for instance, this curriculum overview. This should be published somehow on the page as well. You know, all of this. If this is what we settle on. Basically, because what we want to do is, you know, first of all, I'm interested personally, on a personal note, I'm interested in holding those courses because I think there's a beauty in learning and in teaching kids, basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I used to be a wrestling coach for a long time. You know, working with the physical part of you know, their development, and you know, I got to tell you. There's a certain satisfaction that cannot be explained when you get a little kid to get out there on a big mat in a competition to fight against another boy, you know, and he's scared, and you can make him do that and make him feel confident about it, and you know, make him step out of his own comfort zone and actually go in and do stuff that he hasn't done before. And it's a great feeling, you know, and it doesn't matter whether it's wrestling or if it's, you know, coding or whatever it is in life. I think being a teacher, being an instructor is a privilege basically. And I just love it. So I would like to work as an instructor on courses like this. But apart from that, I would like to hear that some of the ideas we are having here about the way we build these curriculums and these courses, which I think is a little different than what I've seen in traditional computer education. That they actually work, that this actually works, and the spark some interest for technology in young people. So if somebody in UK and United States or what have you, Africa, Asia, would use these materials, that would be great. Actually, I think that's a goal in itself for this project.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure I read something. It obviously wasn't here, but it was somewhere else, and it sort of provided instructions on how to hold their sort of teaching type weekend, sort of get people together, make it fun, and they had a process quite well described, and I thought it looked quite interesting to host.
And I've seen a lot of this stuff, this code.org and stuff. They use games as a way to introduce computer science to kids, and I respect that. I think it's great, but I want to take another approach, because I don't think that everybody wants to just play games. I think that we see that image sharing or social networks are very, very popular, and that's why I kind of approached this Instagram API, and also had a look on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that, because I think that information exchange, processing is very interesting for for young people as well, not only games, because games are kind of passive. Games is something that you can do by yourself, perhaps with one or other or two people, while information and image sharing and social activities could be shared with a lot of people, and I think that itself is a trigger. You know what I mean? It's
yeah. So how do we go forward? I mean, I can go through all these documents and see what we've got. I can have a look at the code and look at the website. You've got some bugs. It looked like the blog needed looking at.
Yeah. And the blog is quite interesting, because in a blog we need image, attachments, basically. Yeah. So this is also not for today, but there is this and if we deploy to Heroku does not allow you to upload images. So when we attach images, we would need to set up an AVS instance, or I know a way to use Dropbox together with Rails apps. So we could pair program on that. It could be fun to learn and potentially interesting for other projects, reusable in other projects.
Or presumably also can interface to Google Picasa or Google Photos or whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
And that's demonstrating the API. And actually, it's quite powerful. The spreadsheet API and stuff like that. It's a very quick and easy way to set up a database for a group.
Cool. Well, we can explore those things, but let's do it like this. I mean, if you're interested, I'm very happy if you're interested to join this project. First of all, so that's a decision you have to take.
Yeah. No, I'd love to join.
And I'm willing to spend some time. I mean, I invested a lot of time in this project before I created this goal. I'm very happy about that. And actually, I don't know if you've seen.
Are you the artist?
Yeah, kind of. This is. If you look at my screen now, you see this. This is the initial sketch I made for the landing page.
Oh wow!
And this is my PSD, mock-up, and this is the actual HTML that we used in the first instance. I created this is a menu because I wanted a simple navigation system, but it was scratched later on in favor of something else. But I still have access to this menu thing, and this one is also it works on mobile phones, so it's kind of funny, because we could. Well, anyway, never mind. But this is
that's a good blog entry.
Yeah. So I created this, and and this was the first HTML, the static HTML that I created, and then it all ended up, like this, the one you see now. So, with those, I created those elements as well, and the girl quite funny. I'm very happy about the girl. I think she looks good.
Yeah.
I tried to make her a little, with a backpack and a computer, a little nerdy, but still not like a computer nerd,
That's a good image. No, I'm impressed with your artistic abilities.
Thanks. Well, so I think there's a lot of stuff here, and I created this logo, this Cordelia.org banner kind of thing, learning code, building futures. So there's a lot of stuff that is already in place, and it would be a shame to kind of just lose everything. So I'm very happy. I'm very keen on rebooting this. So.
Yeah. Well, I know some people locally. I'm going to have a chat with them to see if they're interested in helping with a course like this.
That would be nice.
It's a sort of voluntary organisation in Colchester.
Okay.
And they've run various workshops and many different things, and it's sort of art orientated, really, but education too for young people.
Yeah. Cool. And and we can do some fun stuff with this, with this Cordelia. If we can do some T-shirts for the kids. We can do. There's a lot of stuff. We can make some small stickers. They could or for everything. Every workshop that they pass or every kind of block. Like the passions block. I can give them a small diploma. Or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've written a piece of software for Agile Ventures where we generate, auto-generate diplomas, for instance, for the. Have you heard about this AV 102 course? Did you attend that?
Yes, I was on it. Yeah.
Okay. Did you get a certificate?
Yes.
Okay. I created those certificates.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So there's this. What is that? Yeah, if you go to Agile Ventures certificates, that's a small Sinatra application that you attach a CVS file and you just press button and it generates all those certificates and mail them to the participants actually. So it's quite cool.
Handy.
Yeah. So here's the test data, for instance.
Yeah.
And what is this body text? Yeah, this is the email text, but where's the PDF? Oh, public specs templates.
Oh, that's where it puts them.
Yeah, and here I have this is the fonts that we use for the
okay.
Yeah, and this is the certificates itself. Although this is a sample, that's why it's marked a sample. So your name was inserted here, and the date was inserted there because and our Armando Fox, David, and me and Sam have our signatures on. So, anyways, what I'm saying that we could just easily attach this to the Cordelia.org website, for the administrators, for instance. So we can issue certificates with a different, with a nice cool background or whatever, and just email those. So we don't have to have any printing costs if we don't want to print them.
Yeah.
And if anybody locally is interested in running, those things. I can create those certificates with their logotype and the Cordelia logo and stuff like that. So there's the possibilities are endless, basically.
And it should be easy for them to be able to share that, like share on Facebook, so their friends see that they've gained the certificate.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, they get that in a PDF format, but I can also create a JPEG for I think you got your in PDF, right?
I did, yeah.
Yeah. But
I think it's coming. Or did it come that there's a link? I haven't gone back to the profile page, but I think there's a link there to a JPEG image or something.
Well, no, there shouldn't be. But there's a link to a verification system that verifies.
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
So if you click, there should be a link that here at the bottom, and if you click that link, you get to a verification service.
That's it. There's a code, isn't there? Hash.
And that's very handy because nobody can forge that certificate. So it's a very simple system, but it's a handy one. And I actually spoke to a educational provider, training provider, to implement this solution for them on their website. So when they hold like computer courses for professionals, so they could issue their certificates that way, because the certificates are often used by people in their attached to a CV. Mm-hmm. And a potential employer could also always check whether this certificate is real or not by following this URL. So
yeah, no, I think the URL idea is excellent.
But anyways, that was just
okay, yeah, sidetracked onto certificates.
Yeah. But
okay, Thomas. So I will go through People Tracker and check out. Try and understand what we've got in there. I'll also go through these documents. Is that link, if I lose it, is that actually somewhere?
Yeah, it's on the Cordelia.org project page here at the very, very bottom here.
Yes, okay. Good.
All right.
Yeah. And get back to you in a few days once I've sort of done that.
Absolutely.
And how would you like me to do that?
Just write in the channel, or just, and we don't have to be. We don't have to say that. Set up a meeting or anything now.
It doesn't have to be that formal. I can just sort of chit chat with you about it.
Exactly.
In the background.
And hopefully we can get some other people involved. And if you have anybody that could be potentially interested, perhaps writing materials or I was thinking about searching the web for any other open source library of training materials, for kids, for instance, and see if we can get these people. If there's anybody working with similar things, we could perhaps join our forces and do something.
Yeah.
So I'm open to any ideas that can move this forward, basically.
Okay, Thomas. Good.
Cool. All right. Thanks very much for your time, and I'm very glad that you're on board. And let's see what we can do, basically.
Yeah, let's see where it takes us.
Okie dokie.
Okay.
All right, and I talk to you, next time in some Scrum or something.
Yep.
And
see you soon.
Live long and prosper. All right.
Take care. Bye.